بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على سيدنا ونبينا أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين لا سيما بقية الله في الأراضين اللهم أخرجني من ظلمات الوهم وأكرمني بنور الفهم اللهم افتح علينا أبواب رحمتك وانشر علينا خزائن علومك برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. We continue our study of first chapter of 11th section. This chapter was في تعريف العلم وانقسامه الأولي, about definition of knowledge and its primary classification, not the secondary, the first classification. We said knowledge is divided into two: al-ilm al-husuli wal-ilm al-huduri. Sometimes we know things because the image of that thing is present for us. حضور صورة المعلوم لدى العالم. Ilm husuli is that the image, surah, the image of ma'loom is hadir, is present for alim, for the knower. So what is known is not inside, but its image is present for us. Okay, this is ilm husuli. Like, for example, my knowledge of you. My knowledge of you is not direct. First, I understand an image of you, but that image is like a mirror showing you. And it is so, transparent that I think I am understanding you directly, but I'm not understanding you directly through that image. And this is why sometimes there can be problem if that image is not correct. Yeah? But ilm huduri is حضور المعلوم لدى العالم, not حضور صورة المعلوم. What is known is present for the alim, for knower. So, the first classification of knowledge that we have is to divide knowledge into huduri and husuli, knowledge by presence, or husuli, I prefer to say conceptual knowledge. This is what we have already discussed. Now, he wants to go further in explaining the relation between ilm and alim and ma'loom. Because this is the whole purpose of this section. اتحاد العالم علم والعالم والمعلوم. The unity between the one that knows and what is known and knowledge. These are three things, but in reality they exist with one existence. Okay? So he wants to now explore this relation. He says, ثم إن كون العلم حاصلا لنا. When we say knowledge is حاصل لنا, knowledge is available for us, we have knowledge of something. What does it mean? You have knowledge. معناه حصول المعلوم لنا means what is ma'loom, the known, is available for us. So when I say I have knowledge of an object, it means that somehow that object is available to me. لأن العلم عين المعلوم بالذات. Because knowledge and what is primarily known are the same. Please remember, we said ma'loom بالذات is what? Is the image that we have, the mental image. What is outside is ma'luma bil aras. If I have knowledge of flower, what is primarily known to me is the image of that flower. What is secondarily known to me or accidentally known to me is the real flower. So the real flower is ma'lum bil-araz, not ma'lum bil-zat. Ma'lum bil-zat is in my mind. So, what Allama wants to say, and of course people like Mullah Sadr and other philosophers, is that even in al-husuli, if you go further and instead of focusing on the external object, you focus on the image of that, which is ma'lum bil-zat, over there you have very close relation, and you can say that that image is known to you as ilm huzuri, the image itself. Your knowledge of yourself, your knowledge of your feelings, your knowledge of your mental images are all ilm huzuri. Okay? So I have an image of flower. That flower is known to me through ilm husuli because I have image. But that image itself is present for me. That is ilm huzuli. Of course, you have to remember, image of flower is not flower. Yeah? Image of flower is flower bil-haml al-awwali. Yeah? Image is bil-haml al-awwali is flower. But bil-haml al-shaya is either you can say kayfa nafsani, because some people said knowledge is kayfa nafsani, it's a araz for me, or something else. For the sake of convenience, we say kayfa nafsani, means araz for me. This araz is like, for example, what? You are happy, you are fearful. This happiness, this fear happen to you, but they are present. So, what Allama wants to say is this. When I know something through ilm husuli, the knowledge that I have is what? Is the presence of the image of that thing for me. Yes? Because if it's not present for me, I don't know it. If it's present for you, it's not present to me, I don't know it. So, that image must be present for me. Yeah? So, you call it ilm because it's presence of that image for me. But how is it present for you? With the same existence that it has. Because it's araz, and araz cannot be separate. So, from one perspective, you call it ilm. From another perspective, you call it ma'lum. And also because this is araz for you, so it's also alim. Yes? Husulu shay lana. Because your joy, your happiness, your fear, your knowledge are not separate from you. So we don't have three disconnected, separate things. Just the fact that this image is for me, it's making all these three possible. From one aspect, I say, I am alim. And that thing is ma'loom, and it's belonging to me, it's ilm. But its existence and it's happening to me are the same. So look at this. ثم إن كون العلم حاصلا لنا. To say that knowledge is hasil, means it's happening and it's available for us. معناه, its meaning is this. حصول المعلوم لنا. To have ma'loom for us. Ma'loom is what is known. Why? لأن العلم عين المعلوم بالذات. Because ilm is the same as ma'loom بالذات. Knowledge is the same as what is primarily known. Because ma'loom بالذات is the image, not external thing. External thing is ma'loom بالعرس. إذ لا نعني بالعلم لا نعني بالعلم إلا حصول المعلوم لنا. Because we don't mean by knowledge except the fact that this is available for us. This is happening to us. This is present for us. Ma'lum is with me, means my knowledge. وحصول الشيء وحضوره ليس إلا وجوده. Its existence and its happening for me is the same. It's not that it has two beings, one for itself, one for me. Wujud al-araz, if you remember, we had in the beginning of the book, we said there are certain things that when they exist, at the same time that they exist for themselves, they exist also for something else. For example, knowledge is removing non-existence from its own mahiyya, but also removes jahl from me. This is the meaning of araz. Wujuduhu fi nafsih. Then it has wujud also for what? لغيره, for something else. It exists, but for me. So, لأن العلم عين المعلوم بالذات, because knowledge is the same as what is primarily known. Because we don't mean by knowledge except the availability or happening of what is known for us. وحصول الشيء وحضوره ليس إلا وجوده. Happening of something and presence of something is not different from its existence. وَوُجُودُهُ نَفْسُهُ, and existence of it is the same as it. وُجُودُهُ نَفْسُهُ. Okay? So, وُجُودُ الْعِلْمِ, وُجُودُ الْمَعْلُوم and وُجُودُ الْعِلْمِ are the same. وَلَا مَعْنَى لِحُصُولِ الْمَعْلُومِ لِلْعَالِمِ إِلَّا اتِّحَادُ الْعَالِمِ مَعَهُ. There is no meaning for ma'lum existing for alim except that alim and ma'lum are somehow in unity. Sometimes they are unified. Not unified, united. Whether it be سواء كان معلوما حضوريا أو حصوليا. Whether it is husuli or huzuri, alim and ma'lum have some kind of unity. But with this important difference. In huzuri, the unity is between alim and ma'lum without anything being in between, without any image occurring. In al-husuli, the unity is between alim and ma'lum bizzat. Ma'lum bizzat helps us to relate to ma'lum bil-araz. So there is no unity with ma'lum bil-araz. There is no unity between alim and real philosopher. Okay, this is a difference. In al-huzuri, we don't distinguish between ma'lum bizzat, ma'lum bil-araz, because there's only one thing. Yeah? In al-husuli, we have to distinguish between two things. Ma'lum bizzat, which is the image which is present for me, but ma'lum bil-araz is outside. لا معنى لحصول المعلوم للعالم إلا اتحاد العالم معه. There is no meaning for existence of ma'lum for alim except that alim is united with ma'lum. سواء كان معلوما حضوريا أو حصوليا. Whether that is known by presence or known conceptually. فَإِنَّ الْمَعْلُومَ الْحُضُورِ. Now we explain first about huzuri. What is known by presence? Al-ma'lum al-huduri. What is known by presence? إِن كَانَ جَوْهَرًا قَائِمًا بِنَفْسِهِ. If it is a substance that is self-subsistent, كَانَ وُجُودُهُ لِنَفْسِهِ. So its existence is for itself. You remember we said وجوده في نفسه وجوده في غيره, then وجوده في نفسه is لنفسه ولا غيره. Yeah? You remember? Because mawjood is either fi nafseh when it is mustaqil, or is fi ghayrih when it is rabit. Then wujud fi nafseh is le nafseh or le ghayrih. Le nafseh is jawhar, le ghayrih araz or surat which exists for madde. We had this before. So, jawhar wujuduhu le nafseh, its existence is for itself. But because it is known huzuriyan by presence to us, huwa ma'a dhalika lil alim, it is also existing for the knower. When you know, for example, about yourself, you are a substance. Yeah? So, you as ma'loom are substance, but also you are existing for yourself. وَهُوَ مَعَ ذَلِكَ لِلْعَالِمِ. So he is also existing for alim. فَقَدْ اتَّحَدَ الْعَالِمِ مَعَ النَّفْسِ. So alim is united with itself. And if what is known huzuriyan is not لنفسه, it's not جوهر, وَإِنْ كَانَ أَمْرًا وُجُودَهُ لَمَوْزُوئِهِ, if it is something that exists for its subject, not for itself. And the supposition is al-mafruz anna wujudahu lil-alim. At the same time, it exists for the knower. So, فَقَدْ اتَّحَدَ الْعَالِمْ مَعَ مَوْزُوء. So, alim and mawzu of that araz must be the same. Like, you have knowledge of your fear. Your fear exists for its subject. But it is also known to you. So you and the subject of fear, which is your nafs, have unity. وَالْعَرَزُ أَيْزًا مِنْ مَرَاتِبِ وُجُودِ مَوْزُوءٍ. Also we know in general that any accident is a level of the levels of existence of its subject. Because we said araz, according to Mullah Sadra, is not separate, not independent from jawhar, from substance, yeah? Sometimes he says maratib, sometimes he says shu'un, modes of jawhar. One of the arguments for harakat al-jawhari was this, that because araz is not independent, if araz has harakah, it must be coming from jawhar. So, al-arazu aizan min maratib wujud mawzu'ih غير خارج من. Araz is one of the levels of existence of its subject, and it's not external to it. فَكَذَلِكَ مَعَ مَتَّحَدَ مَعَ مَوْزُوءٍ. So in the same way, araz would be united with what is united with its subject, because araz is not separate from its subject. So anything which is united with the subject has unity with the araz. This is about ilm huzuri. وَكَذَا الْمَعْلُومُ الْحُسُولِي مَوْجُودٌ لِلْعَالِمِ. What is known through concept is also existing for the knower. Whether سواء كان جوهرا موجودا لنفسه, whether what is known husuliyan is a substance that exists for itself, because substance وجد لنفسه في نفسه ولنفسه. Yeah? Or amran mawjudan لغيره, or it is something which exists for something else. It is aras. So what you know husuliyan can be flower, can be a color. If it's flower, wujuduhu لنفسه. If it is color, wujuduhu لغيره. But in both cases, the knowledge that you have of them is muttahid, is united with you, the knowledge of it. وَلَازِمُهُ وَلَازِمُ كَوْنِهِ مَوْجُودًا لِلْعَالِمِ اتِّحَادُ الْعَالِمِ مَعَهُ. And the requirement, the implication, the consequence of existing for alim is that it must be united with alim. So what does Allama want to say? I repeat. He wants to say that whether it is ilm huzuri or ilm husuli, ma'lum is not separate from alim. Ma'lum is something that must exist for alim. So wujuduhu must be for alim. If it is huzuri, it is very clear. If it is husuli, again, it can be understood because the knowledge is not directly about the externality. The knowledge is about the image, and that image is present for us. If it's not present for us, then how can we say, I know it? I cannot say I know something outside unless it's present for me. Ala annahu sayaji. Moreover, it will come later. أن العلم الحصولي علم حضوري في الحقيقة. In this section, chapter 10, it will be discussed later that ilm husuli in reality is ilm huzuri. In which sense? When it comes to ma'lum bizzat. Because ilm husuli is analyzed into two levels. Ma'lum bizzat, ma'lum bil aras. Ma'lum bizzat is ilm huzuri. But of course you have to remember, when you know it huzuriyan, you know it as a mental image, not as flower. Don't get it wrong. There is no way for us to know the flower by ilm huzuri. Ordinary people at least cannot know flower with ilm huzuri. So when we say ilm husuli is ilm huzuri, we mean ilm husuli at the level of ma'lum bizzat, not ma'lum bil aras. And at the level of ma'lum bizzat, indeed, it is not ilm husuli because it is mental image. I cannot make mistake about ilm huzuri, but I can make mistake about ilm husuli. Yeah, it's very important. You can never make mistake about ilm huzuri because ma'lum is present for you. But when it comes to interpretation, you can make mistake. For example, you have a feeling. You cannot make mistake that you have feeling. But you can make mistake. Is this feeling of anxiety? Is it the feeling of, for example, feeling awe towards something? It's what? Okay, you can make mistake about interpretation. As soon as you bring concepts and you make, for example, a sentence, it becomes husuli.
So we know everything just through mental images. We can't really know everything.
Yes. But with respect to the external world, there is always something between us and them. We can argue, of course, and try to refine as much as possible our understanding. But there is always something between us and them. What is immediate and direct is ilm huzur. فحصول العلم للعالم من خواص العلم. Existence of knowledge, availability of knowledge for the knower, for alim, is one of the characteristics of knowledge. Ilm cannot exist without alim. Can you imagine ilm without alim? It's not possible. لكن لا كل حصول كيف كان. But this husul, when we say ilm for alim is available or it's happening or it's existing, it's not any kind of husul, any kind of existence. Bal. Now Allama wants to go into another discussion. He wants to say ilm is mujarrad, or husul or amr mujarrad, if you want to be more precise, for another thing which is mujarrad. Ma'lum is mujarrad. Mujarrad means immaterial, and philosophically, when we say immaterial, we mean what? Something which has no potentiality. It's completely fi'li, bil-fi'l, actual. Pardon? Ilm is existence of ma'lum for alim. So, this knowledge that you have is mujarrad. Why? Why it is mujarrad? Why it is immaterial? Because knowledge as such never changes. One of the arguments that we bring to prove that human soul is immaterial is through knowledge. Because we prove that knowledge is immaterial, then we say soul must be immaterial because something immaterial is a quality for the soul. Then we have different arguments to prove that knowledge is immaterial. One of the arguments that we have is because ilm is not changing. If I have met someone 10 years ago, that person changes, but my ilm doesn't change. My ilm of that person. And this is why I can say you have become older. Ilm never changes. Ilm is like a picture that you take and remains. Okay? Ilm never changes. This shows that ilm is mujarrad. It has no potentiality. It's fixed. Then this ilm is my knowledge. This surah is my knowledge. I have also to be from this perspective. As long as I am alim, should not change. Otherwise, this ilm would not have something to belong to. So ilm is fixed, alim is fixed. So therefore, philosophers say ilm is حضور مجرد لمجرد. Ma'lum has to be mujarrad, alim also has to be mujarrad. Of course, they have lots of arguments. This is just to begin. فحصول العلم للعالم من خواص العلم. Existence of knowledge for the knower is one of the properties or characteristics of ilm. But when we say it exists for alim, it's not any kind of existence, it's a particular one. لكن لا كل حصول كيف كان, not any kind of existence for alim. بل حصول أمر بالفعل فعلية محضة لا قوة فيه لشيء مطلقا. But existence of something which is actual بالفعل. How much it's actual? Completely, because it can never change. There is no potentiality of change there. لا قوة فيه لشيء مطلقا. It has no potentiality at all. Knowledge, as I told you, is fixed. You can come to know new things. That's another thing. But your knowledge never changes. فَإِنَّا نُشَاهِدُ بِالْوِجْدَانِ. We witness through our wajdan. What is wajdan? In moral discussions, wajdan means conscience. But here we mean by wajdan inner knowledge. Something that you can witness it internally. Okay? Like wajdaniyat in mantiq, we have wajdaniyat. One type of badihiyat is wajdaniyat. You witness internally أن المعلوم من حيث هو معلوم لا يقوى على شيء آخر. What is known from this perspective that it is معلوم cannot be anything else. Cannot change, cannot become anything else. It's fixed. If you have image of something, that image is fixed. For example, if you have image of a child, that image cannot grow, become old person. That image remains forever. You can have then another image when he grows up. Knowledge never changes. Otherwise, we could not have reviewed anything. We could not have observed the growth history. Why we understand something is growing? Because we have fixed images and then we can compare. If the image itself was changing, then we could not say that he has grown. Understand? Yes.
This kind of concept of knowledge more and more. How do you know? You think philosophers or from the Western philosophers in Islam?
It's not only Muslim philosophers, but mostly people who have Aristotelian approach. Because there are many, many types of philosophy in the world that some of them say very strange things. But the established scholastic philosophy, they have this idea.
Your knowledge is those that are common images we have. So for example, in the time you're born is nothing, and when you keep growing as you see more things and you learn more things. And you say that's what this is.
What we want to say is that knowledge is not changing. Knowledge can grow, knowledge can increase by adding images to images, but that will not change. For example, suppose right now I tell you something. The knowledge about this is always remaining the same thing. It cannot change. What I told you, the knowledge should correspond to that. So it cannot change. It has to be the same thing. It's like, for example, a picture is taken of this. It cannot change. I can come to know more things, or I can know deeper aspects of something, consequences of something. But what is known forever. Pardon?
We keep losing it as well because those images don't, because when practically when we study something we forget it afterwards.
If you lose them, then you don't know them. But the thing is that if you know something, it has not changed. If you lose it, then you don't know it. Plus, maybe someone says that we never 100% lose anything. When something comes to existence as a mujarrad, maybe we have difficulty in recalling. And you know, I have many times experienced, sometimes I don't remember something, sometimes later I remember it. It's not that when I don't remember it, totally erased from my memory. Sometimes, I don't know, because I am tired, I don't have focus, whatever, I forget. Then sometimes later, your memory becomes very sharp and you remember things. So, I don't think anything is totally erased. But even if it's erased, it's not a problem. What we want to say is that knowledge is not changing. If you lose it, then okay, you lose it, but it's not changing. So, what we can witness بالوجدان inside us, أن المعلوم من حيث هو معلوم لا يقوى على شيء آخر. It cannot become anything else. ولا يقبل التغير عما هو عليه. And does not accept changing from what condition has to another thing. فهو حصول أمر مجرد عن المادة خال من غواش القوة. So, ilm is existence of something which is free from madde. It's empty from those things which relate to potentiality. Gawashim is like attachments of potentiality. Gawashi are those things that come and cover, like attachments. Nothing that would be attachment of potentiality is there. وَنُسَمِّي ذَلِكَ حُضُورًا. We call this type of existence حضور, presence. فحضور المعلوم يستدعي كونه أمرا تاما في فعليته. So, presence of ma'loom requires that it is something which is complete in its actuality. من غير تعلق بالمادة, without belonging to madda. Because completely بالفعل. من غير تعلق بالمادة is not a new thing. It's another explanation of تاما في الفعلية. It's complete in actuality. Doesn't belong to madde. Madde is the responsible, the source responsible for potentiality. Wal quwwah doesn't belong to madde and quwwah, because if it was belonging to madde and quwwah, these are yujibu naqsah. Belonging to matter and potentiality makes it imperfect. Because as long as something is changing, as long as something has potentiality, it means it's not perfect. وعدم تمامه من حيث كمالاته التي بالقوة. With respect to those perfections which are potential, it has not yet become complete. It has not become perfect. Still, it can go through changes.
Why does knowledge have to be completed perfect?
The knowledge cannot change. If knowledge changes, then it becomes jahl. For example, you tell me something at this time, in this place. Forever, knowledge has to indicate that. It cannot become, for example, you said more or less, or you change. Knowledge has to remain always as it is. Otherwise, it means that you are manipulating the facts. ومقتضى حضور المعلوم أن يكون العالم الذي يحصل له العلم أمرا فعليا تام الفعلية. Presence of ma'lum requires that the knower, the alim, for whom ilm is present, that alim also must be completely actual. Amran fi'liyan, tam al-fi'liyan. Must actual and complete in actuality. So, ilm cannot change, alim also cannot change. Alim for this ilm. Otherwise, this ilm doesn't have anyone to belong. If it belongs to something and then later that thing has changed, so where does this ilm belong to?
Our soul is not changing.
Your soul from this perspective is not changing. From another perspective can change, but not from this perspective. You know, he says himself, look at this. He says, غَيْرَ نَاقِسٍ, it's not incomplete. مِنْ جَهَةِ التَّعَلُّقِ بِالْقُوَّةِ, from this aspect of belonging to potentiality. Maybe from another aspect, yes, but here should not be potential, because ilm is actual. وَهُوَ كَوْنُ الْعَالِمِ مُجَرَّدًا عَنِ الْمَادَّةِ. Alim has to be empty from matter, empty from قُوَّة, خَالِيًا عَنِ الْقُوَّة, from potentiality. So, from what we said, فَقَدْ بَانَ means فَقَدْ ظَهَرَ, it became clear. أَنَّ الْعِلْمَ حضور موجود مجرد لموجود مجرد. This is very important thing. Knowledge for Muslim philosophers has to be always immaterial. Knowledge is that something immaterial is present for another thing which is immaterial. If it is al-husuli, is the same. Al-husuli also, the image is immaterial. Okay? So, ilm is hudur mawjudan mujarrad, presence of something which is immaterial, le mawjudan mujarrad, for another thing which is immaterial. The first is ilm, the second is alim. سواء كان الحاصل أينما حصل له كما في علم الشيء بنفسه أو غيره بوجه كما في علم الشيء بالماهيات الخارجة عنه. And it doesn't make difference whether that thing which is happening for alim, okay, is the same thing as alim. Like when you know yourself, you have ilm huzuri about yourself, knowledge by presence about yourself. So yourself is known to you. Or it can be different. Like when you know something outside. But again, the knowledge of that thing is present for you. The knowledge is present. Not the thing itself. Because we said in al-husuli, huzur surat al-ma'lum لدى العالم. In علم حضوری حضور المعلوم, not حضور الصورة, حضور المعلوم لدى العالم. But in both cases, something immaterial is present for alim who is immaterial. وتبين أيضا, another thing that becomes clear is أن المعلوم الذي هو متعلق العلم يجب أن يكون أمرا مجردا عن المادة. It also became clear that what is known to which knowledge belongs. Ma'lum is what knowledge belongs to, what knowledge embraces. So ma'lum must be something which is free from matter, it's immaterial. وَسَيَجِي مَعْنَا تَعَلُّقِ الْعِلْمِ بِالْأُمُورِ. Then you may say, oh, so what about knowing things which are material? Allah says, later we explain. What does it mean that you know something which is material? And as I said, it has to be indirect. We can never directly know things which are material outside. We know it indirectly. وثانيا أن العالم الذي يقوم به العلم يجب أن يكون مجردا عن المادة إذا. Ilm has to be mujarrad. Alim, to which knowledge need to depend, on which knowledge depends. يقوم به. Knowledge is subsistent with the help of alim. Yeah? Knowledge belongs to alim. So, knowledge has to be mujarrad. Knower or alim also has to be mujarrad. أن العالم الذي يقوم به العلم, the knower with help of which knowledge can stand, means knowledge depends on it. يجب أن يكون مجردا عن المادة إذن. That also has to be empty from matter. Alim. Ma'lum we said before. You know, first we said in ma'lum يجب أن يكون أمرا مجردا. Now we say ثانيا alim also has to be mujarrad. This is the repetition of what we said before, just few lines before. That ilm is huzur amr mujarrad la amr mujarrad. Something mujarrad exists for something else which is mujarrad. It's only actually two. Because ilm is what? Ilm is the presence, it's not separate. Your existence and your presence are the same. Your existence for yourself and your presence for your alim is the same. Okay, so alhamdulillah, this chapter finished. Maybe we can have a little break and then we continue. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alam.